I've seen you in action. In my judgment, you're an incredible leader, and I'm sure if I were to walk around Juniper, I would see that at an even more atomic level. Was there something along the way, maybe a failure that you had in your career that was an enduring lesson, whenever it might have been, whether it was in your childhood or in your professional career?
Well, I'm sure there's been many failures, and I think the one lesson I learned as a manager, this is one thing that comes to mind. As a manager, you obviously have responsibility for the activities of your team, and you have oversight, and you trust them to do the right thing. You trust them to be responsive and accountable for what they're responsible for. There was one case where somebody went on maternity leave. We had a temporary cover. Somebody took over. It was not in my location. It was a different location, and that person was at as a paralegal basically, responsibility for ensuring that contracts were renewed on time. And I kind of assumed that was happening because her predecessor did that, and I was assuming that she did the same. Well, we found out that she didn't. Those contracts disappeared. So I discovered that at some point a lot of our contracts had expired, and that would create all sorts of problems from a revenue and accounting perspective. So this was like this moment where you go like, okay, now I have to fess up and call my boss and say, we have a problem, right? And then it makes you think like, okay, I should have paid more attention to this. I should have been more on top of this. I just let this go. And there's always excuses why you let it go. But and then the other important thing is, okay, well, it happened. I now know what the situation is. I can now make a plan of action to fix it. But I do have to come clean.
Yeah.
And that's what my boss said at the time. He said, look, I appreciate you telling me this. It's shit. It's not good. It's bad. You dropped the ball completely, and it's going to create some havoc. But
you didn't make the second mistake.
Right, and now you're going to fix it.
Yeah, what a great lesson. I mean, how many people want to resist the reality that there was a mistake made?
Right.
And that's really oftentimes what's the big disaster.
Right.
What a great lesson for lawyers of all ages to kind of benefit from. Thank you for sharing that. The failures are never easy to talk about. Bring back nightmares. I'm sure you lost a little sleep on that.
Well, absolutely. But you also realize it's going to come out anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So there's no point in trying to hide it. And being part of being a leader, being a manager, it means also taking the blame.
Yeah.
This was my responsibility.
Yeah.
Right. Now, in politics, they would say, okay, I have to resign. I didn't have to do that. But, let's just move on, but let's fix it. Let's fix it ASAP.
Yeah, that's great.